Hey, um, cranking out a lot of videos, ain't we? Yeah, we're putting them out there, man. Almost 300 in the Pool and Billiards with John Disque playlist. That's a lot for just one subject, nothing but pool. Yeah, there's a lot of info in there. We have 6 more videos, 5 more after this one, and then we'll be changing locations where I play pool and where I film and all that good stuff. And hopefully it's bigger and better and all that good stuff. Better lighting, that's really important to me. Although the lighting, where isn't bad, I'd like better lighting. Better shelving, better camera placement, so you guys can see more of what's going on. You don't have that one single angle that's sometimes hard to tell. It's just like, even if you're watching any pool video on YouTube, if the camera's not over the head of the table, sometimes it can be really hard to tell what these players are doing and why they're on this angle, because it looks different than what it actually is if you're just standing there. There's no doubt that you were taught, if you didn't have any formal training, if you didn't have a legitimate professional coach teaching you how to play pool, there's no doubt that you spent your whole life learning how to see pool balls in pockets, and your progression took way longer than it had to take, because what you need to do is train your mind to see lines and angles, and that's what I want to try to get across to you, at least part of it, in this video, so you can understand what I'm saying in my videos and why I'm saying it and how to pick things up real quick. You'll see what I'm talking to as we get on to. Thank you for tuning in. Everything's growing, everything's getting better, and I really do appreciate you guys. Now let's take a quick look at this table. The 1 and the 6 is going to be a combination. The 6 is dead on, but we still have to be careful with this. Cue balls here, the cue to the 1 to the 2, the 2 to the 3, the 3 to the 4, the 4 to the 5. The 5 to the 7, and that's because the 6 will be gone on the combination. So you have to get from the 4 to the 5 back to the 7, and the 7 to the 8, and the 8 back to the 9. So this combination is a little bit tricky. The key shot here is going to be the 5 to the 7, or you could say it's the 4 to the 5 and get in the right position to get on the 5 in order to get on the line to that 7, and I'll explain that when we get to it. You have to draw back. You have to hit this ball full, number 1, as if you're trying to make the 1 ball, as if the 6 wasn't even there. You have to draw back to assure yourself another shot on this 1 ball. But you don't want to draw back too far and get behind this 3. You want to stay straight in on the 2 so you can draw back and get straight in on the 3. And have the right angle on this 4 to get back to this 5. We want to get a little bit low on this 5. And again, I'll explain all that when we get there. So just put a good stroke on this, and don't hit it too hard. That's exactly what you want. Now we're a little bit off the rail, which will let us bounce off the rail again to get on this straight in on this 2 ball. And to pull the rake out there. It's a rare thing for me to do. But that one, I couldn't even shoot left-handed. So the rake was necessary. So you're pulling back a little bit on this 2 to get straight in on the 3. But we come up a little bit short. So I wind up having to go to this rail with a little bit of left-hand English on it, to kill the natural angle of it. You don't want the cue ball going down here on this 4 ball. And again, we need to come up a little bit short on this 4. We don't want to be straight in on the 4, and we damn sure don't want to be on that side of the 4. So we have to be on this side so we can bounce off and draw off it and use this rail to come back on this 5 ball a little bit low. You have to be careful here. You don't want to go long on the 5. Just bouncing off the rail with a little bit of left hand English. Alright, we got in a perfect position on the 4 ball, and I want to use a graph here to explain why this is the perfect position and what the line is on the 7 ball, what we're trying to do, and hopefully that will illustrate further what I'm trying to say here. Now here's your starting point, the straight through line through the 7. This would be the line you needed to be on if you just wanted to get straight in and just wanted to hit a stop shot on the 7 and be done with, and well, move on to the 8 and 9. But we don't want to hit a stop shot there. We need to get somewhere around here on this 8 ball. So we have to be a little bit careful here. In this case, you want to use this as your starting point, but we want to get a little bit under this line. Certainly not over it, because then we're going to have to go to the rail to get back on the 8. As you can see, I went a little bit too long, wound up right about here, which didn't please me too good. We see some John crying in this video. Oh, I just threw up my hands on the 7 ball. It kept rolling. It just wasn't going to stop. And I didn't want to wind up shooting that 7 in this corner. So anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself here. So we're shooting this 4 to get back, to bounce back off this rail and pull back to this position on this 5 ball. Alright, so we're in a perfect position on this 4 to get right here at the end of this line on this 5 ball. But once again, we want to come up short on this side of this line. So while this is your starting point, we're kind of going to dispose of that. And we have a reference point. So how do we need to come up on this side and not that side of the line? So we're right here shooting at the 5 ball. And if we pull it up further than this contact point right here, it's going to go down table like this and leave us really bad on the 7. And that's why you just don't want to do that. We want to come short and make this contact point right about where this diamond is now, and that'll shorten it up on this angle right here. It'll just decrease the angle to come up to right about here. Right about where the cue ball is now would be great to shoot this 7 and get on this 8. But again, we go a little bit long. And let's go back to the analysis of the actual video here. Alright, so here we are getting back low on the 5 to use that rail to get back on the 7. It's all been explained to you. A little bit of spin there. And not exactly perfect, but we can juice the cue ball into perfect position to play that line. And yeah, we went a little bit long here. We have, I mean, longer is better, but of course, you don't want to go too long and wind up shooting this in this. I mean, you could shoot it in that corner, but you'd be way off your game if you did that, and it wasn't the plan. And you can always make something out of something, but we're trying to keep it simple here. You just saw 2/3 of this video, the 1 ball through the 6 ball, with me commentating and pointing out what I'm thinking, what I'm trying to do, and how to do it. Now you're going to see the whole video from start to finish, 1 ball through the 9 ball, the whole rack, uncut, and without me yakking, so you can just enjoy the run out.